Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Only One United. I am Atanu Balasubramanian, and today we have a new guest. We have Bala with us. It's his debut on the channel, so welcome to the channel, Bala. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Tanu. Thank you, everyone. And what a game, to talk about.
Unreal game. Yeah, exactly. Lucia Garcia scoring in the Fergie time, and what a goal because players like Lucia Garcia, Vilde Borisa don't get much game time.
Yeah,
Haven't gotten much game time this season. So seeing them combine together for the winner against Manchester City to get the first win against City in the league, it's unreal. Bala,
yeah,
how are you feeling right now?
it's heartening. I mean, it's very late in the night, so I couldn't shout when they scored. So I was like just
Exactly.
silently screaming. So, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's for information. Bala and I are from India, so right now it's 1:20 a.m. So you guys can
yeah,
imagine it's Monday 1:20 a.m. and we have our work studies and everything. So, but we are here and we are doing this match reaction because what a game! What a brilliant game! I think uh, I'm just talking about the euphoria that I'm feeling right now
yeah,
and not going too deep into the game because obviously it was frustrating to watch us play
yeah.
against a side that was down to 10 players. So, but Haley Lad, let's talk about Haley Lad first of all. What a way to score! What a way to
Wow.
score the first goal of the game.
And straight away in the very first minute as well, it was like just
Yeah.
the best start one could ask for. I mean, I was fiddling with the FA player and everything because
Oh,
it was horrible. But yeah, when I just finally found everything, set the match up, she scored the goal. So it was very nice.
exactly. And I think we'll get to the broadcasting thing as well. But coming back to the point which you made about Haley Ladd, I think she scored a lot of goals lately. Maybe
Yeah,
it's because she's been played usually she used to play a lot deeper, and this season she's been given the freedom to play higher up the pitch. And I
yeah.
think that comes down to the fact that Skinner thinks there's some kind of an attacking outlet with Haley Ladd playing higher up the pitch.
And yeah, I guess she's kind of sort of doing the Gundogan role. For I mean, what Gundogan does for Pep, because he arrives late into the box, and Haley Lard pretty much does a similar thing, not as frequently as Gundogan, obviously, but she's doing a very similar thing, and it's actually working out. So that's a great thing.
Exactly, and I think you compare it very well with Gundogan as well. Uh,
Yeah,
because Gundogan can play that defensive role as well, but
yeah.
attacking like the attacking outlet is there, and I think Haley Ladd, yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think today as well. Of course, there was a little instability in the midfield in some instances,
Yeah,
but overall, when we compare it to the Chelsea game, I think we saw a lot of improvement.
yeah, definitely a lot of improvement. And I mean, we did control the midfield much better when compared to the Chelsea game, but we
Exactly.
still kind of lost the bite in the second half. I was mentioning it to you that we must need a change around the 55th to 60th minute, but Skinner took like 10 extra minutes to make those changes, like every single game. So yeah,
And
it's the same
like
issue.
yeah, this is like I also want to talk about the particular type of substitution that we did. I think bringing on Rachel Williams around the 65th minute doesn't work. I think
Yeah,
she's more of that 75th minute impact player because she's been molded into that role. And
exactly.
obviously, with her age, obviously, I'm not age shaming or anything, but still, the intelligence that Rachel Williams brings to
Yeah.
the table, I think that can be quite useful towards the latter stages and not towards 65th or 70th minute.
Yeah, true. Because we've seen that in, I mean, games against Leicester and even the one against the Brighton game and all those games where she came pretty late and made that impact. But yeah, today, I mean, she did try her darndest, but unfortunately, it just didn't work.
Exactly. And I think, this actually confirms, like, we're coming back to the result. I think this
Yeah.
actually confirms that we are in the Champions League.
Yes,
And
it does.
obviously, like, we all knew somehow that obviously City won't be able to get that gap of plus 17 goal difference,
Yeah,
but
goal
still,
difference is huge. Yeah.
yeah, but now that it is officially confirmed, I feel a lot more relieved and I feel a lot more happy. And I personally feel that this is something amazing, but at the same
Yeah.
time, not winning the league, like we're so close, and I
Yes.
know it's just disheartening at the same time. So what are you feeling, Bala, right now?
It's bittersweet, the feeling, because those, I mean, not even the losses against Chelsea, but that draw against Everton, that still stings, because had we managed to win that game, we'd be winning the league right now. So it's the littlest of margins, but yeah, I mean, we've come so far this season. Unlike the last two seasons, where we actually fell off towards the last 2 months. This time we have kind of held on to these crucial games, and this is the first time we've beaten Man City, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
Yeah,
going down to 10 players is actually sometimes a little detrimental to United's momentum, because we were winning 1-0. Then
yeah,
City went down to 10 players, and it was like, are United down to 10 players? Because obviously it's a little over exaggeration from my side, because United were good in certain glimpses. But still, when the opposition is down to 10 players, you would feel that you'll be able to have a good impact.
yeah, exactly. And it kind of felt like FIFA, wherein when the opposition usually goes down to 10 players, all the other players automatically go to 99 potential and they start playing like world beaters. So it kind of felt like that. And we missed a lot of chances. That is a very big problem. That has been a very recurring theme for quite a few months now.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
And coming back to the point, like I think Nikita Paris played really well, in my opinion,
yeah,
and I think today was one of those games where you actually felt that, okay, we paid some money. I think we paid a fee for Nikita Paris, and
yeah,
it's
yes,
actually helping us right now. Uh,
yeah,
I actually felt like I've been a little too harsh on Nikita Paris, because she's come with on a fee. Like, we've paid some
yeah,
fee for her, but overall, I'd say today's game was one of her best performances in a United shirt, and she
yeah.
needs to be consistent from now on. You need to recreate these moments on a consistent basis.
Exactly. And she actually combined very well with Ona today, which she doesn't do well often. She did a lot of overlapping runs. She underlapped a lot. So she was in constant motion and she pressed the hell out of the City defense today. Those 45 minutes, I guess, those 45 minutes were the best I've seen of Paris in a United shirt. And yeah, I really wish that she continues, keeping this as a base, because Skinner is not going to drop her anytime soon. Let's be real. So,
Yeah, and I think like, I think with this performance, she's actually proving why Skinner is picking her. But at the
yeah,
same time, you want some consistency. Obviously, I'm not taking anything away from this performance, because, like Bala mentioned, first 45 minutes it felt like Paris was the player on the pitch, because I think
yeah,
she was a huge part behind the first goal as well. I think she was the one who was holding up the ball and then passed it to Ona. Then Ona crossed into the box, and that fell onto a City player, and that
yeah,
rebound was actually slotted into the back of the net by Haley Ladd. So, obviously, I think today was a little more fluid. There was a little more fluidity in this in the whole midfield and the game as well. And I think, whenever we're passing from the back, I saw instances where, Millie Turner and Maya Letizia were inside the box, and they didn't feel the
yeah.
need to come outside the box,
Outside the
because
box. Yeah,
Haley Ladd
exactly.
and Katie Zellem were there to help them out with the transition. So, your thoughts
Yeah.
about this whole topic that we're discussing right now?
Yeah, actually, the first phase build-up has improved steadily throughout the season, and today we had a hell lot of control throughout the entirety of the first half, and it's actually the second half when when we had an extra player advantage, we kind of lost that control, ironically. But yeah, it is getting better. But I guess we could still make use of more players there in the central midfield. I mean, we have three players sitting on the bench without getting any minutes. Luckily, Borisa got a few minutes towards the end, but we are not asking Skinner to start them every game and drop the other people. It's just rotation that's necessary, because if we've seen in the cup games, if these players don't get rotated, they don't have that match sharpness, and that comes back to bite us, because after 60-65 minutes, these players completely drop off with respect to their energy levels and everything. So yeah, that is one thing that's been a major worry for me since the last season, actually. So it is just carried on.
Bala, I can't even tell you how happy this makes me, because it's so refreshing to people, like to people actually acknowledge, for people to actually acknowledge that this is a major issue. And we are not saying to start the players, obviously. We are just saying that you need to give them some minutes, like you mentioned, so that people are match sharp. If you don't start them,
Yeah,
how will they be accustomed to playing in like proper games? Obviously, training ground environment is different than the main game environment. And I
yeah,
personally feel that now that we are seeing Vilde Borisa more, like
yeah.
we saw her start against Spurs, then we didn't see her at all
See,
against in
at all
the FA
against
Cup.
Chelsea. Yeah,
And now that she came on, I think around the 75th or 70th
yeah,
minute, I think you need to build up on this. Skinner needs to build up on this and actually prove that it's a merit based selection and not just like,
yes,
obviously, like for me to sit here and say that he's being favorite, it's wrong, because I don't know what's going on in the training ground. But at
yeah,
the same time, when players are performing well, like in games, they are having a good impact and they are not getting the minutes that they deserve, it actually feels like it's favoritism. I know,
yeah.
I can understand that you know Skinner fans might feel that I am being too harsh on him, but it's actually what I personally feel. Yeah, no issues, no
Yeah.
issues, no
Yeah,
issues.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, the light
yeah,
just went
yeah,
off and came
yeah.
back. And yeah, John has commented saying, big shout out to Blundell today. She kept Kelly quiet for most of the game. And yeah, that's true, because towards the end, Kelly did, Kelly was seeing more of the ball in the second half, but Blundell did really well. And unlike the FA Cup final, where Blundell was asked to tuck back and just stay defensive, she was allowed the freedom again. And she connected well with Leah Galton again. So that was really good. And she did a really, really, really good job on Chloe Kelly. And I thought we would be, finally relieved because there would be no Caroline Ware. But
Yeah.
there was
Angel
another
Dart.
freak goal. Yeah, oh my God. That was so freakish. It reminded me of quite a few goals that men's team used to concede in the 2015 to 2017 period, where goals would just come and fly in from corners and all those.
It was actually, it was out of instincts, I feel, from Angel
Yeah,
Dart. Like she
yeah,
also tried to shoot another one, which Maria saved towards the end of
yeah,
the second half.
yeah. She just
Yeah,
punched it away. But this was freakish. Outside of foot, and I didn't expect that at all. No one expected it. So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And I feel what you mentioned about, like what John has mentioned and what you have mentioned about London is actually true, because in the FA Cup final as well, we were seeing that she was part of the back three, and that was a little detrimental to her link up with Leah on the left, and that's why we didn't see Leah that much,
yeah.
with that much intensity. And coming back to Leah, I feel she could have scored a hat trick, guy. Like
Oh,
she could have scored a
yes,
hat trick very easily, but you know, I personally feel that when that City goal went in, I wasn't mad at the circumstances. I was actually mad at how we grew into the game. Obviously, we
yeah,
scored the winner, and we took a little more time to adjust into the game. But then we saw how many chances we missed, how many
yeah.
chances there were for Russo to pass it to Galton to score, and
Galton,
for
yeah.
Galton to
Oh
convert
God,
those chances.
yeah.
But these are the games where actually goal difference actually matters now.
Matters,
But
yeah.
we were dominant in the goal difference
But
until
Chelsea just
Chelsea.
scored 17 or 18 in the last four games, and they've just
Exactly.
gone up. It's crazy. But
So
we did have like
yeah.
what 16 shots right today, 16 or 17
Yeah,
shots, something like
I'll
that.
pull up the stats now, because I actually wanted to look at the stats, because I think we were dominant throughout the game.
Yes, yes,
I
we did.
think City were playing catch up to an extent
Yeah,
sometimes, but like in the
same.
first half, there was a period after the 15th minute where it felt like, oh my god, I think City will score.
Yeah, yeah. We dropped off and they just climbed back into the
Yeah,
game, but it just settled down. but yeah, save for a spell in the second half, like for 10 to 15 minutes when City were actually pushing really hard. We had control for majority of this game, which was a really pleasing sign. Probably the first
Yeah,
time we controlled a game for longer periods against City, for
yeah,
more than 60
exactly.
minutes.
And I think, we'll come back to the controlling part because often I see United's possession being in 70%, 60%. And I'm like, we shouldn't be judging on the basis of possession. But today
Yeah,
we actually, having possession is without context. Like if you see the stat without context, everybody will be like, oh my God, United have 70% possession. But it's mostly passing back and,
yeah,
controlling the possession in your own half. But today it was a lot different. We were making those passes, we were making those through balls, and I don't know how everything was clicking, but whenever we were putting in a tackle, it actually worked. It was a successful
yeah,
tackle. We were able to win the ball back, and when Roebuck made that error, when she, when she made that error on Paris, and I was like, please, please, please let this be a red card. And I saw the referee pull out the card, and I was like, wait, is that a yellow? Because it can't be a yellow. But I'm so
yeah.
glad that we they were down to 10 players. Then I instantly messaged you, and I was like, oh my god, we are
This
down to
is
10 players.
Yeah, it's going
PTSD.
to be really tough. I mean, last season, the game against Arsenal and the game against City that you mentioned, the 2-2 draw, we absolutely, let them dominate when they went down to 10 players. But yeah, this time, luckily, we had those Fergie time genes in us to just get us through. Otherwise, it would have been really difficult.
I was actually, when the goal went in, when the scoreline became 1-1, I was like, typical United. I was so
Yeah,
frustrated because it was our own fault that we, like, obviously they
yeah.
City deserved to score from that wonderful goal that they scored, but we could have scored. Like, we won 2-1. I think we could
Mhm.
have easily won 5-1 or 4-1 easily.
Easily, yeah, yeah. We missed so many chances. I mean, that's been a very frustrating part, especially since Feb or March, because we've been grinding results out. I mean, at least from the score lines, they look like we've been grinding results out, but we've actually dominated most of the games. We should have won with like bigger score lines. Our goal difference should have probably been in the 50s right now, I guess, if we had converted all those chances, like not at least 50% of the chances.
I think, like, even when we look at the number of goals that we have scored, it's come, like, for example, today was 2-1. Then we look
Yeah,
at the Liverpool game, we won 6-0. So obviously, it's not on a consistent basis that we score much goals. It's like in 3 games, out of the 3 games, in one game we'll score many goals. In the other 2 games, we'll somehow try to get the result. And
yeah,
it just reminds me of the games. Uh, I think when we drew to Villa, when we lost to
oh,
West Ham or drew to West Ham last season,
yeah,
then the
yeah,
draws against Everton, Spurs, City, Arsenal, and it just
yeah,
reminds me of those games because it was 2-1 until still, like, there were a lot of minutes left in the
yeah,
in the added minutes, and I was like, please, please, no 2-2, please, no 2-2.
yeah. But yeah, luckily we controlled those last few minutes and did well. And yeah, speaking of controlling and everything, what a tackle from Leticia towards the end. I mean, wow, that was literally match-winning block. I mean, I for sure thought that the ball was going in, but she somehow pulled out something stunning there.
And I think. Uh, Wait, just a minute. There was a comment. If you need a goal, why would a manager take off the best attack in Paris, Tony and Russo? It's not always about taking off your best attack. If it isn't working, like, if it isn't working, then obviously you need to make some changes. If you have players like Lucia Garcia, Martha Thomas, Rachel Williams, there's a reason that they are on the bench. They are there on the bench to make an impact in the case where the starting 11 players, the best attack in Paris, Tony and Russo, don't work out. So, like, calling Garcia's goal a lucky goal is, like, from your opinion, it might be the case. Like, in the comments, we are seeing Zoe's media house saying Garcia goal was lucky, but it's all about having that impact. And it there were still 4 5 minutes left. If
Yeah,
she hadn't scored from that attempt, she could have scored later on as well, because that's the type of player Lucia is. Whenever you've like the I think she scored 7 goals in the league. Out of those
Yeah,
7 goals, I think 5 or 6 have come
yeah.
after she's being
In
subbed
the
on. Yeah, in the second
after the
half.
75th minute, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
So
we'll come back to Lucia Garcia now. Lucia Garcia, Bala, last few words about Lucia, and then we'll try to wrap it off.
yeah, she has been sensational every time she comes on and plays. It I don't know. She's so energetic. I mean, she has the dribbling quality in her, and it's like, yeah, there is some spark whenever she comes on. Spark is the right word, I guess. There is something or the other that's always
Like
going on, and
it just clicks, I think,
yeah,
whenever she comes on. And I think she's one of those impact players. Like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Goal, the trilogy of Goal.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Santiago Muniz, I sense Santiago Muniz vibes from Lucia Garcia. It's also like I don't want her to come off the bench every time. Like, I think
yeah,
she deserves to
exactly.
start the next game.
Yeah, she
But yeah,
does deserve.
like I think it's all about taking those chances, grabbing those opportunities, because that's what we've seen from Vilde Borisa as well. When life
Yes,
gives you lemons, you turn it into lemonades, and that's what Lucia Garcia, Vilde Borisa are doing. And I'm just happy that Vilde Borisa was the one who made the assist, because I think throughout the FA Cup finals, right from the beginning, every one of us was like, why didn't Skinner look at the way she played against Spurs? Because obviously, I look back at the Spurs game and I think I see a rejuvenated midfield. I see a very good
definitely.
midfield that is able to control the ball throughout the game. So obviously, I'm not taking anything away from Zelem or Lad. They were quite good today, but at the same time, it's there are several players in the team, so obviously there will be
Yeah,
times when the starting 11 players won't get to play, and I don't know why it isn't the case with United right now.
yeah, exactly. And especially with the Champions League coming up next season, we must have to keep rotating. We can't let this continue because there will be injuries. There will be a lot of tired legs because we'll be playing a lot of games. So, yeah, we need more players, and we need the manager to trust more players regularly. That's more important. And
Like,
I guess,
obviously, yeah, we if you are making those signings, there's a reason you are
yeah,
making those signings. There's Nalson, there's Cascarino. I to this date don't understand why did we sign Cascarino if
yeah,
we weren't even going to play her. I think she's only played that Sunderland game in the FA Cup where she came off the bench. That's
yeah,
the only game I think I've seen her play. And it's just, I know if everything's going well, obviously you don't want to change everything. But we aren't even talking about, changing the starting 11. We are just saying to give minutes to players.
yeah.
Obviously,
Some
he gave
minutes.
minutes to players today. It's not that we are, bashing the manager unnecessarily today.
Mm,
He made
yeah,
good substitutions. Rachel Williams was a good substitution. I think it should have come a little later.
yeah.
Lucia
But the
Garcia,
other
Vilde
two,
Borisa,
yeah, top substitutions, they work
su-
perfectly. Yeah,
yeah, super subs. I think today, overall, I feel uh, it was more down to the players, in my opinion, where we
yeah.
couldn't convert the chances, and that's something we need to take care of, because in the Champions League as well, you won't get second
Oh,
chances. Like, uh, there, you can't say, "Oh God, we'll come again next time," because obviously we'll have to go through the qualifying rounds, I think,
yeah.
and then we'll have to go into the group stages. So it's a long route to the Champions League group knockouts,
Yes.
and we'll have to keep that in mind, that this is something that we've grinded for a long time. So we cannot
Yeah.
take this qualification for granted. We have to progress in the Champions League. We have to make that impact, because I think when I see AS Roma, I think their women's side as well were formed when we were reformed. So
Yeah. Yeah.
looking at them and how they have progressed, I think I also want United to do well in the Champions League, and at the same time balance their league chances. And I think now that we are in the title race next season, I would hope that we actually win it and make a
Yeah.
substantial quest into the knockout stages.
Yes, absolutely with you on that. I mean, we really need to take the next step now. Now that we have qualified for the Champions League, I mean, we we have been very close to the title. Obviously, one or two results going our way could have completely changed. Everything, but yeah, it's still okay, I guess.
Yeah. Zoe's media house, obviously, Zoe, we weren't telling, like, saying that you are bashing the manager. We were mentioning about Atanu and Bala, that we were
Yeah.
being too critical about the substitutions, that we didn't want anyone to perceive that we are unnecessarily bashing the manager. We weren't saying anything to you, obviously. Let me just make that clear. But yeah, a good win, a good 2-1 win over City. Uh, Guys, if you don't already know, Bala has a podcast where he, along with his friends, talk about cricket, football, and movies. So, Bala, just tell people about your podcast.
Yeah, it's called the Shin Pad Podcast. We still don't know why we came up with that name, but yeah, we just talk about United women, and cricket, movies, every random thing that we can talk about. And yeah, maybe I can just pop the links down so that
Yeah, we'll
uh,
add the link in the description of the video as well.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, guys, if you haven't already checked it out, please do check it out. I think I've listened to some of the of the episode where Bala and his friends talk about the FA Cup final loss. Obviously, it's disheartening. I would have loved if we had won it, because I would have seen Bala more cheerful in that podcast then. But yeah, it is what it is. I think we have made huge strides this season in terms of
yes,
progress, but obviously it's disheartening that we've come so close yet we don't know. Like, obviously, practically speaking, I don't see Reading defeat Chelsea, but
no,
never say never.
yeah, stranger things have happened, so it is just hope for the best next week.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Bala, for joining in. Namrata
Yeah,
wasn't available today, and I really wanted to talk to Bala, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. So from next time onwards, you'll see more of Bala with us. I think Namrata will
yeah,
also join, so the three of us will be here. And I think it's going to be 2 a.m. And like, Namrata and I have actually named this match reaction the 2 a.m. Club, because most of the times it's too long that we increase it to 2 a.m. But
yeah.
welcome to the 2 a.m. Club, Bala.
Thank you,
uh,
Tanu. Yeah, it's
yeah,
been lovely chatting with you. Yeah,
it was a pleasure to have you here, Bala, and I hope we'll get to catch up soon as well in the last game of the season. And thank you so much for everyone who tuned in. If you like this video, do press the like button. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Follow Bala on Twitter. We've tagged him on our Twitter as well. And do subscribe, do follow his podcast as well. I think it's a Spotify one, so drop in a follow there as well. Press on the bell icon on his podcast as well to not miss any updates from the podcast. And while you're at it, subscribe to our channel as well. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. One last game. Manifest that Reading defeat Chelsea so that United lift the title. And obviously United defeat Liverpool as well. Obviously, like, that's actually
yeah.
it's better left unsaid. But thank you so much, Bala, for joining in.
Thank you, Tanu. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Okay, guys. See you later. Bye.